All right, welcome to the podcast. HighNoon with Flemo. We're going to have a bit of fun today. We're going to have a very special guest. Probably goes for a couple of hours. Most of them will, because when I start talking, I don't really shut up. So it's pretty cool. We'll be covering all sorts of subjects. I'll be interviewing people I want to interview and learn stuff about, and people I think they're really cool and should introduce them to the rest of the world. So, this week's podcast is brought to you by the Comics Lounge. Get over to thecomicslounge.com.au. You'll see they have Bob Franklin coming up next week, absolute legend, and April Macy all the way from the United States, another wonderful, wonderful comedian. So you might want to get in fast for tickets for those two comedians in particular, because they will sell very fast. So this week we have Chris Asher. You might know me or him from me doing his podcast, the podcast formerly known as With John and Dean. Lots of fun doing their show. So it's always fun to have a chat with them boys. So having Chris on is always a delight. He also selected Blue Moon for me to sing as the intro. Each week the guest is going to pick a song and I'll do a karaoke to the intro of it. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Could be terrible. I guess we'll get into it. So please enjoy Chris Asher.
Inaugural HighNoon podcast. So also on the podcast, the guest each week will pick a song, the intro song for the podcast, and what one of you picked. I'll be doing karaoke to it, by the way. Here we go.
Just let them know that.
Just let them know. It's just the intro to the podcast. So, what one you picked? An obscure one.
Yeah, Blue Moon.
Blue Moon, which I actually love. That any moon song I love. I'll explain that later. There's something in moon songs. Bad Moon Rising, fucking brilliant. So here we go. Anyway, intro time. Blue Moon karaoke version.
You saw me smoking alone, without the weed in my heart, without a bud of my own. There we go.
Very good.
It's good. Keeps me singing again. Gets me back into the music scene. So welcome, Chris. Thanks for coming down. So, this is the HighNoon podcast, talking everything. Well, trying to have the positive side of the wonderful, wonderful plant called cannabis. I'm obviously very pro. I'm pro anything for your own body. If it's your body, you can do whatever you want. You own that transformer. Just don't take down planets with it. But we'll get into all different subjects, but different things I want to cover. I just want to know about people and learn about life and stuff. So if you don't know, Chris has a wonderful podcast, which I've been on a couple of times, the podcast formerly known as whatever you want to put there.
There's three of us on that.
And there's three of you, John and Dean, a couple of legends, and it's been going really good now. It's building up.
Yeah, it's definitely building up.
So how long you been doing it now?
Oh, I think it's like 2 years, but we had like a little bit of a break at the start, so we only publish every 2 weeks, so we're up to I think we're up to episode 40 or somewhere around there.
Awesome. And that's the thing too, you notice that the rhythm from that first to now, like you get into us. You know, you guys work really well. It's fun just being around you. 'Cause straight away it's like, hey, let's have fucking ball.
Yeah.
That's why it's such a fun podcast to do and listen to. But you're hoping to go weekly with that?
No, I don't think the other guys are we're all really busy.
Yep.
So like trying to get us all together for we record weekly and we'll do like a stint of 6 weeks.
Yep.
And then publish them fortnightly.
Good idea.
So we have to book everything before we get going, because we've all got to make sure that we can do it.
Yep.
So then we fill those spots with guests.
Yep.
because the amount we'd had to cancel, like we just had to keep cancelling.
And that's the problem with people, especially entertainers. That's what killed me in music. That's a few times where it's like, I just can't handle getting a rehearsal and then someone goes, oh, I'm sick.
Yeah.
It's like, we're already here.
Oh, I've got basketball training.
You definitely got to plan. And even with gigs, like with comedy, I know that people don't show up, well, they cancel on the night.
Yeah.
And just unprofessional. And that's the funny thing with sickness. It happened last week. Someone was crook and I'm like, come on, you could be on death's door as soon as you get on stage, you're well.
Yeah, for 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
It's an instant, I am on death's door, and if you can crawl up, and I cancelled one, and it was a Thursday on the lounge, I was just like, I can't do it. And then now I regret it, because it was like, that's the only night I haven't done there.
I had a music gig that I had to cancel. I've only missed 2 gigs when I was doing music.
Yep.
Because I used to do music as well. And I was just one person though, like doing electronic music. And I played live, so I'd have to cart gear everywhere.
Yeah.
And like doing comedy, you don't have to bring a fucking thing.
Well, that's why I loved being a singer, because I'd get to rehearsals last. I'd leave first, gigs. I'd be first off stage. I'd be the bar tab would be gone by the time the rest of the band's finished packing up and or the bar would be shut. Say the Central Club, it's 1 o'clock. So I'd get there and just smash down the rider.
Yeah.
I'd be walking out with a girl or two before they've even finished. well, and that's what cracked me up. They'd always go, hey, you chose your fucking instruments. Right?
You chose drums.
You want to be up there all high and mighty with your, oh, look at this fucking lead, and you're fucking me, and the bass player's licking his own lips all through that. And then when it comes to carting it, this is where it comes down to smart choices, guys.
So the one of the ones that I missed was I had to cancel it 10 minutes before I went on. I was just that sick.
Yep.
I was like, and it was at Mount Buller. So
they've hired you to come up for a holiday, mate. I can't do it, a party.
And so we were like, there were heaps of people, and they're like all just dirty hippies and shit, like all on hallucinogenics, and I wasn't, because I pretty much don't do that anymore. And I was so sick, and I'd carted all of my gear from the lodge down to whatever that main venue is in the square there. Yep. Got it all up to the stage and like about to set up, and I'm going, I need to get back to bed. Worst fucking flu. And grab it all, cut it back through the snow.
Because the energy, well, that's the other thing. Like singing, I cancelled one gig when I had a wisdom tooth infection, and I couldn't shut my mouth, like the gums had swollen over, and that was probably my last gig with Pegasus in the early days, where I was like, all right, I'm out after that. But flu, if I had a massive flu, singing, that's where I learnt to sing properly, because if I did have a flu, I could, but it's that physical side where you got energetic.
Yeah, that's the worst.
That's where cocaine, no, Sudafed. Sudafed comes in. With music, so you tell us about that. When did you start with
Oh, shit.
doing all those?
I think I started when did I start actually playing the gigs?
Yeah.
Around 2006 about 2006, through till, I don't know, 2012, something like that.
And what were they?
Psychedelic trance. It was like I was playing at Bush Doofs.
Oh, and were you partying?
No, I did that. I did that earlier when I was younger.
Yep.
And just got over it real quick.
No, okay.
And so then, I wasn't doing any of the dance music scene for a little while, but then I was writing psychedelic trance.
Yep.
So just weird. I don't know if you know psytrance, but it's just like
I was dating a girl who her friends were into all that scene.
Yeah.
Where we got a weekend away here, and they were all chemists.
Have you
scientists? So they're drugs.
So they got experimental drugs with
like
them.
Anything, and they made the best. Like, it was just like, fuck this crew. And she was a lovely, lovely girl. And they would go away and just, but I wasn't into anything. I hadn't done mushrooms at that point, so I was a bit like, I'm a bit scared to. I'm glad I would have fucking had an ego crush in front of a party. Shit my pants.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's funny you're doing that style, and because I would imagine for that style it helps to be in that state to write.
I can't do anything in any state, like other than having coffee. Like I'd write psytrance at 9 o'clock in the morning with my coffee.
Yeah, but then if you know the music, there's that other point. The easy, I think the easy. I'd be the type of person where it's like, cool, I'm writing it, I've got to be that. And be smashed right now because I'd feel like I'm more connected or whatever. But in other styles, I don't need other things. You don't need that. It's not so much necessary, but that's interesting. You're not on it. And it's in that specific where it's for people who are on some. Like it really grabs them, someone who's off their phone.
Well, if it grabs me when I'm straight,
then
it's someone who's fucked is gonna be just like, wow.
Yeah, that's really smart. That's a real clever perspective, I guess, from a creative point where if it's gonna kill. No, that's really good.
And I did it sort of like, you get, because you play music and you know when you're writing a song and you're like, oh, this is really going to get them fucking pumped, you know?
Yeah. Well,
like it's really exciting. You just get that feeling. You're like...
You get that hook. And especially with me, I love hooks and I love the things I love in songs.
Yeah.
And it might be a note, like a way someone screams or just a sound. And it's usually singing that might be hooks. Yeah. But it is that thing, the song Haunting Me that was the first single on the last Pegasus album. That was all, if you listen to that, the chorus is a hook. The vocal line all the way through is a hook. Even the guitaring was done separately, but is a hook. And that's that awesome feeling where you just that's going to... And I get that with comedy, with certain things, say for the Comics Lounge, where I write a joke and I write for me what's funny. Yeah. But then with some of them, like, oh,
I know that's gonna
because of the start, but just stage.
Like I had that feeling the other day with a joke that I wrote, and it was like just a last minute thing that I'm like, I know I'm gonna do that, and I'm like, I know it's gonna be funny.
Yep.
Before I've taken it out, I'm like, I know this is gonna be funny.
Yep.
It's fine.
And that's a good. And you get that, and the only way to get that is by being like, I got that from, obviously I perform there a lot, and I don't perform a lot of gigs, but they're there, so I get more out of each gig.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously if I apply go into it right, but the only way to get it is by watching, being at that place and seeing there's certain things the pros do, and there might be one thing that's the same and as a style of a joke, and you go, oh, that's one of their type of jokes. Yeah, you know it's going to work.
But you also get a bit more context compared to when you're watching it on TV, like a special or something like that. Yeah. It's not edited. All of the little added bits that like they might put in just for that connection part.
Yeah. And also there's editing. There's crowd laughter. We saw when I first went to Los Angeles and Montreal with the owners of the lounge last year, 2 years ago, I was seeing all these great acts that I've seen on TV. But at the Comedy Store, if you see Bill Burr at the Comedy Store is completely different to your specials.
Yeah.
Rogan or Joey Diaz in the Comedy Store is just brutal. You can't capture him on anything.
Yeah.
That dude, you need to go. And it's almost the vibe in it's unexplainable. Like, if I can tell you, go on a holiday, if you've fucking got to go there for a week and just go to the Comedy Store, the Improv, just for a week of comedy, and you'll just come back here and just go, wow, we are so far behind.
Yeah, I bet.
you know, in certain terms of comedy, but population's a big thing and all that. But they've created, there's a history at the Sunset Strip.
Yeah.
And it's sort of encapsulated now at the Comedy Store because all the other places are disappearing from that.
Why do I get I get this sense of like the new generation of American comics that are like really kind of loose and dirty and just that's how I always feel like they are. I know that they're not because there's like a lot of clean. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's just a
well, what it is, there's an edge at the moment, and I think that's through social media. What you'll happen, like you look in the 80s, that's where comedy had its big fucking kick in the 80s in America, and it was the prime time. You could go anywhere and play a sold out show all around America, okay, and that's where from that you got your Seinfelds, Jim Carrey, Andrew Dice Clay, I mean, say the Rodney Dangerfield specials. You got Dice, Sam Kinison, Dom Herrera, Bill Hicks, Seinfeld. All those guys got massive from those one specials. That lot of specials.
Yeah,
they all got their shows or their big breaks.
Yeah,
and you want to see like Dice, whether you love him or hate, you watch his set and you go. It's sexist, homophobe. It's just whatever. But that's a character. He's Andrew Clay. It's not Claystein or whatever his real name is.
Yeah.
Dice is a character. And it's
1986,
and you watch it and you go, fucking killed. Kinison killed. And that was all dirty, like regardless dirty. The Eddie Murphy Delirious. I remember as a kid before I was allowed or could see it, it was like, oh, you're not allowed to say it. It's just wrong.
Yeah.
Because he says fuck.
And it's only because he says fuck.
Yeah, and that's all you hear.
Yeah.
He's fuck. And he's not... And I haven't watched it probably since my comedy brain's a lot better. I'll watch it, actually. I might watch it this week and go, you know what? He's not saying fuck that much. They're hearing fuck.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, because that was
subject matter. And that blew it up. And then you had all these killer comedians ready to show their shit and all these awesome pockets, but they were dirty. Then it filters down.
Yeah.
And then you got that next sort of wave. But now you speak to any of them over there, now comedy's never been as big as it is now in America because comedians are stars.
Yeah, exactly.
Movie stars.
And with stars, social media and YouTube and all that stuff, like you do a good spot somewhere, someone's filmed it, and then all of a sudden
And what it is so you've got the new breed coming through, which... I think in some regards you look at our loose comedians, offensive as hell, not a lot of jokes, but they've got through social media and today's climate, they're targeting, say, society. We've got a lot of meth is a horrible thing here, the ice epidemic and all that sort of stuff, and it's a play. You got comedians targeting them people.
Yeah.
So they're coming in to watch worst people to deal with.
Yeah.
But they're marketing, so they want to hear an opening line of, so I punched this old cunt in the face, and they'll laugh. That's an opener for some of these. And I've gone, what?
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah,
wouldn't that be just lovely?
Yeah. And then you've got someone, like the guy up there's like Rodney Rude sort of thing. His jokes mostly old stock jokes. His wife put them together, apparently. And he's just up there as wrong as you could goddamn be.
Yeah.
But he's tailoring to that market. But now I think society's mean is cool. Mean can be like if you be there's certain elements where if you're an arsehole to someone, that's awesome. And say even with that, I think a lot of the decline came with Paris Hilton. Once she became famous, I reckon Western civilization. It's not a joke. I reckon I clearly saw Anna Nicole Smith,
love to hate.
Yeah, like that whole period where it was like, oh, let's worship this bitch because she was being a bitch to people. Like, oh, whatever, old man, because he complimented her in a cafe on their reality show, and she just said the meanest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but that's what it was. It was just her and that other chick walking around just being a fucking. I'm dumb. Oh, whatever. Then And what I noticed, one of my best mates, or close mates at the time, Murph, and all of us, the Dandy crew, his sister, Abby, who's a sweetie, she started talking like that to him, mate. And I remember going off at her a couple of times, like, hey, don't speak to him up. Just because you saw Paris Hilton doing that.
Yeah,
but then you saw all the young kids just speaking, like, to everyone, like, of whatever. Bizarre. Like, and you're like, oh, fuck, we're fucked. This is the standard, being a fuckhead. So now you come forward, they've grown up, and they want comedians that are just like, oh, fuck up, or whatever. Can't. You can't. And that's why we've got a standard of that. Then they watch me get up on stage and go, I'd probably go really well with that crowd, actually. But normal structure, they're like, why is he tricking us? I can't put it together. It's so I think there is which says there's a market for everything, and some smart people target. It's not a positive in a way, but
also you know that they'll watch it over and over and over again.
Because he keeps saying meth. He keeps saying shards. Fucking had a bowl of shard. And everyone's like,
no, just so they can remember it, like because
they keep forgetting. I've never seen this before. Who bought it for me? It's in my DVD player. Scratched. I bought a scratched one that's obviously been used 1 million times.
Some cunt.
Yeah, some cunt did it. But yeah, I think it's definitely. That's the smart thing, getting your market is like Bob Franklin was saying last night. You get your market, it's a lot easier with comedy, and
but that's the same with everything though as well. Like if you're a band, you start getting big, you play bigger venues of people who love your music. Yeah. You just that's the thing you got to build. But in comedy, I think there's a different. If you can target a market and grab it, it's a difference. I think I see it a lot differently. Obviously, that's the alt thing, isn't it? That's alt.
What do you mean?
Like, you know how like people are always talking about alt comedy, and like these are alt rooms and stuff like that. They're those alt. That's the style. Yeah. Is it? Because I'm always like confused by what everything means.
I'm confused by. Oh, we better too. By the way, this is HighNoon, which means my guests have to partake in a traditional Native American cigarette with me. So yeah, things always may go astray. So, alt.
So
what do I say? What did I say?
I don't know.
That's why I was like, what am
I just get confused as to what alt comedy is, and it's those guys who have their real niche audiences of niche style comedy.
I think more alt comedy would be more the anti-comedy, and the ones who get up and just go, don't have a punchline,
Isn't that like the
and it's
like the cunnies of the world and stuff?
The what?
The like the cunny type followers. You know that YouTuber?
Yeah, or the dickheads. But yeah, that the anti-comedy, you got that different sort. I'd go that's a bit alt. But I guess the traditional one is set up punch.
Yeah, okay.
Which is always, and it's always got to be there. I think you're always safer. Your comedy's safe, and there's a joy in writing a joke and being able to trick an audience with something you come up with, and when you're writing it, it's a joy. And then when you get to perform it, it's a joy. And it's the differences between a lot of other arts where there's a few processes before you get the high.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like Bob was saying last night, someone will come off after killing. Richard Pryor was the example, and it is, and I know it because there's one joke will get an 8 out of 10 laugh, where it normally gets a 10.
Yeah,
and then one will get a 10, one will get a 10. Like you're never going to get them all like to that noise that you heard it 2 weeks ago in another club.
Yeah,
sort of. It's always never meshing. I guess that's the goal, where you come out and go, here's 10 minutes of every single joke getting that peak.
Yeah.
Which Pommy Johnson's probably one that gets that peak every time, and that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's just raw, raw,
Wow.
raw. Someone's choking in the aisle.
Yeah.
Please stop.
Literally
He's choking.
killing.
And then Poppy just goes, more.
Yeah.
It just keeps hitting them. That's why I tell a lot of people, if you want to learn a lot, go watch him.
Yeah.
Whether you like, and that's the thing. It doesn't matter whether you like someone or not. There's lessons to be learned. It's someone at that level or any pro, and you got to get down and watch them as much as possible. So where'd you grow up, Chris?
Eastern suburbs.
Which suburb is it? Secret.
Yeah, Blackburn. Blackburn South, actually.
School?
Closer to Springvale.
What school did you go?
Blackburn High.
Yep.
Yeah, and I lived right near Orchard Grove, which is where I went to primary school in Blackburn. So
I was 4 doors away from mine. It was I could watch cartoons to the end.
You were the only kid who you had to tell everyone what happened.
Yeah, I could literally sprint to school in probably 20 seconds.
Yeah.
It's 4 doors down. So I'd watch them to the end because the last 5 minutes was them going, oh, don't forget next week.
And you could just run off then.
Bog down. I'd just be like, no, I'm not telling you what He-Man did in the end. Go fuck yourself. If you believe in He-Man that much, you wouldn't be here. You'd be at home rejoicing in what he did. Right? Skeletor's fucked, and you're not going to find out about it. But I loved it every day. And what was high school like? Was it a normal school, Blackburn?
Blackburn Music School.
Oh, it was music?
Well, like...
pushed as a boring...
It was one of the known high schools of like, oh, that's that music school. It's not a private school, but it's a public school. It was...
probably because I was tone deaf when I was a kid.
Well, I don't know if it had developed that, like, I don't know when you would have been in high school.
Yeah, actually, yeah. The structures of school have changed a lot.
Yeah.
So they went from high schools to secondary colleges when I was in
They still
school.
have, aren't they? Isn't that like, I thought that's just what they called them.
Oh, no, they were originally, everything was a high school. And then they... all of a sudden in Victoria, everything became a secondary college.
Like all of the new ones that came up, or did they change them
on?
Oh, really?
I don't know what happened. Maybe they changed them back because it was just like...
Because Blackburn High was never Blackburn Secondary College.
Because I remember I was at Heather Hill High School because I went there for the first year, then I got sent away for a holiday. I wasn't. I lived at home. But I went to a reform school for a couple of years, which was fucking awesome. And then back to Heather Hill, and that when I came back, they changed. And
when you came back, it was a secondary college.
No, it was around that period. And they've gone, it's a secondary college now. No, you have to buy brand new uniforms.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
I remember when they did that actually, because I was like, I think
I
must have been in like in primary school or something.
Because we went from Heather Hill used to be green, like when my brother went there, and then when I went there, it was blue. Uniforms that completely changed, and they tried to look smarter and all this shit. But I didn't. Yeah, but the reform school was close. Like that was a musical. That's the reason I went there.
Okay.
It was originally Box Hill, and then it got burnt down the year they were moving that year because one of the students burnt the school down.
I feel like I remember that too.
Then,
that was like, what year would that have been?
Like 88 or something.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I wouldn't have. Like I would have been.
And they not born.
No. I was born.
And then they moved to Glen Waverley, but that's what I walked in, and they've gone because at Heather Hill I was excited because I'm fucking nuts. So I like what I like. Like I hate school.
Yeah.
PE, you got a machine on your hand. I'll kill everyone. Athletic. Metalwork I enjoyed because I was making, things like that. But then everything else was just, ugh. But music I was pumped for, and I went in there and there was a guitar, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
And then the teacher come in, Miss McRae, I think her name was, and she's given us all recorders. And I'm just like, no chance am I playing I'm a metalhead, mate.
Yeah.
And that's how stupid I've always been. No, it's against my religious beliefs. Like I've walked out of things, gone, no, I'm a headbanger. It's against and pulled that line of religion and got out of things. But they've just gone, is he serious? And back then it was no, it's against my.
You were dead serious.
Yeah, and I was for many years. And I've gone, I want to play the guitar. She's going, no, you'll play record. But did the roll call. This was day one at high school. And she goes, I think it was 3 classes in, doing the roll call. She goes, blah. She goes, Fleming? And I go, yep. She goes, if you're anything like your brother, you can get out of here now. I just stood up and went, all right.
What?
That was her opening remark to me. If you're anything like your brother, get out now.
Why?
I don't know what the fuck he did. He's a fucking nerd. So, and I was just like, oh, you have no idea, woman. I'm a whirlwind of doom compared to Damien. Like, he's a nerd. Like, I don't know what the fuck. If you think he's bad,
yeah, wow,
you have no fucking idea what's on your hands.
Jesus,
pissed me off. So I spent the whole year sitting on the step. Even in the rain, I just had to sit on the step.
Fuck.
But that's where the imagination was great because I'd just watch movies in my mind. I'd rewatch Bachelor Party, WrestleMania 2, because I knew everything off by heart.
Yeah, okay.
Everything. Every movie I knew word for word because I'd watch them that much. So in class, they just, when I came back to Heather Hill, they've gone, look, after a few weeks it was evident I'd lost so much education at the other school.
Oh, really?
Zell Band-Aid, yeah. Oh, I'll give him an A. He didn't hit anyone. Give him an A.
Oh,
He didn't
shit.
flip out. So I got A's just for sitting quiet.
Fuck.
Yeah. So then I went back and I thought, fuck, if I go back to normal school, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
So I went back to normal school and I was fucked.
Oh, wow.
Because I thought, I'm not learning, because I was a freak at algebra.
Yeah.
Like, I'd finished, in 1 year, I did the whole curriculum for the whole of high school, or year 12 and everything.
Yeah.
Because he just put them down. I don't know why, but I could write the answers.
I had the same thing.
No way.
Like, I was like...
Is there anything we can use this for? The one thing I'm good at.
No, it was so weird because in year 10, because I left at the end of just before the end of first term, year 10, I just went, fuck it, I'm out. And I was always like in trouble all the way up, right? Every single class, suspended multiple times, you know. And then this year 10 teacher, I nearly forgot what I was talking about.
Native American cigarettes will do that to you.
Yeah, they will sometimes. So this one teacher in year 10, I had the maths teacher who I don't know why I just got on with it in that class. I didn't give shit or anything like that. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was that clicked, because it was like one of those teachers that most people don't click with, you know. It was like real surprise.
Did you find it, like with the algebra, did you just go, oh, hang on, I naturally can read these answers without thinking about them?
It wasn't specifically with algebra. I think it was with... Well, I got through the first thing of questions, just got them bang, 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 bang like that, like you said that you did. And I've gone, I've finished. And he's like, okay, well, just move on to the next chapter. And then I just ended up doing it all through out of the book instead of what everyone else was doing. And he eventually ended up saying to me, look, you're going to have to stop and just catch up on other stuff because you've done the semester.
Well, that's what they did. I think that's how I sort of you keep going, and then it was just like Rolly was me. His nickname was Rolly for obvious reasons. He's a hippie. He's fucking a legend. This dude. He was funny. He'd be like, He had long blonde hair, like a 1970s hippie. He wore a collared shirt, flowers all over it, yellow cords, bright, hippie as you could get, straight from 1969. Yeah. And he was going out with Annie the music. Mate,
long hair?
Yeah.
Like just really straight as well?
Oh, sort of, pretty much straight. Okay. But all the way down to his ass sort of thing. Hey, man. And he'd sit there and he'd go, Mr. Fleming, it appears you are good at algebra. Well, I think we can see that you're smart, so you can just keep doing that. That's how he'd speak to you. good work, Mr. Fleming. And he'd just walk
So
off and he'd
weird.
go help someone with their work and be
Like I imagine that like as he walked off, like his head wouldn't bob up and down and just
Yeah,
like
it
float
just
across
like,
the
yeah.
room.
But he was a black belt as well. There was a few times he beat him and a couple of students toe to toe because that school you'd just punch on with like violent fights with the teachers at lunchtime. You just call a teacher out and go, that's it.
Fuck.
Yeah, we'd have a meeting. We'd have a court. So every day we'd have court at school. So if I was pissed at you, they go, anyone got any problems? I go, yeah, Chris Asher. No, he said, we have an argument and they try to resolve it.
Really?
And then I might just run across the courtyard and just go, whack.
Oh,
That's
fuck.
on. And then teachers jump in and then I'll punch on with
Every
the teacher.
single day.
Oh, not every day, but...
But like they'd
a
have
lot,
court
yeah. Oh, every day. Sorry, every day you'd have court in the middle of... at lunchtime.
at lunchtime.
At the end of lunchtime it was.
Wow.
So you'd sit there and all in a big circle, the whole school.
So they'd try and finish the day with resolving all of the things
or
that
if there was
happened
problems,
throughout
or this
at
happened,
the start of
this
the day.
student, he got arrested yesterday because he stabbed a bus driver. So you won't be seeing him for a while. He's been sent to Beltara or Tirana or... Fuck, what was the other joint where they lock you up permanently for a while? Mental sort of joint for students.
I don't know.
That was the fear. That was where we go. If we fuck up, it was like, oh, you don't want to go there. You won't come back the same kid.
My dad worked at Tirana.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
I had a lot of the students come from there or went there and ended up in there because they were from all over Victoria. This school was the only one you're allowed in. Basically, this is your last chance. If you fuck up here, you're gone. But Rowley, I saw him punch on a few times with students. Like he's a black belt in karate and he's trying to do all these fucking karate moves and the kid's just punching him. Kia! And even one time, like we had big issues in my group, Alunga. We're all named after Aboriginal. The whole school was named after different things, Indigenous. And there was only 8 of us in the class, in each class. There wasn't allowed to be more than 10 per class, 60 students at the school. And
wow.
I'd had an argument with someone. Someone was pissed off. Everyone was just shitty with each other. And for morning class, our home, because we had like a mum and a dad who were our teachers. So they would look after us. But it would be, oh, you got a problem with you? Okay, here's the boxing gloves. There's the portable. Go in there and sort it out. And then every kid would be like, well, yeah, and that all shit. I wouldn't even have a problem with someone. And I'd be standing at the door with the gloves, just going, all right. And I was boxing then too. I was actually training.
So it was kind of
Frank
just
Kennedy.
practice for you.
Yeah, I was just like, well, you do shit me, so it's just. And the teacher would be like, they'll do it as they'll back out.
Yeah.
I knew it.
And just let it happen.
That's why I was at the school, because I was very, very cluey. And the principal hated me because of that.
Yeah.
He just was like, and he grabbed me by the throat one day. And he's strangling me in the corner behind a thing, and he's just going, you know, I fucking hate you because you know what you're doing. These cunts don't have a fucking clue. And he was just fully choking me. He fucking hated me. His name was Rock. He was brutal. Yeah, he's a fucking angry prick. And I'd
when you got a school like that, though.
But I'd send a lot of students to him to get hit because he's allowed to cane them.
Yeah.
It was the only school. He had a PVC pipe called Uncle
See,
Bob.
he would have had like 10 years of this shit.
Yeah.
Like he'd just be so.
They were all
over it.
hippies and they were rotting it too. I think they were getting paid so much, $800 a term per student.
Oh really?
Yeah, my mum had to go work in a fucking hospital at night. 2 jobs to just send me to a school to keep me somewhere for a couple of years until I could break out. But yeah, he was. I would send students to him because if I didn't like someone, I'd just go, all right, I can make you get the cane. And I'd do something where I'd convince them to do something stupid, and then I'd just be like, eh. I'd be standing, I'd be kneeling at the window just listening to whack. And it'd just be like, yeah, fuck with me. That's why, because I could just.
So you could manipulate it so that like you could beat the shit out of this kid without having to touch him.
Without hitting him. He punched. There was one kid on the first day, Jazz, I got him nailed on day one. first class.
Yeah.
I had him caned.
Yeah.
But he can't. Instantly he opened his mouth. I was just like, oh, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
He was basically, oh, who's the coolest gang? I want to hang out with them. Like,
yeah,
fake sort of thing. And I was like, yeah. Oh, what's the big thing? We're taggers. Oh, I love tagging. Yeah, I'm a tagger. And I could pick that shit from a mile away. So, all right, we'll have a game with you. Yeah. I got him to tell Kathy, we had to do community involvement program where we had to go like build shit. Sort of.
Oh, really?
For the community, or we'd have to go to some old dude's house and clean his whole house backyard.
Oh my god!
Just like criminal, like fucking he goes slave work. We did this. Old dude up in Glen Waverley was a sweetie, and he knew I had long hair. He's like, "Oh, you like your rock music, kid?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Actually, I'll dig out. You can have my leather jacket." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah!"
Wow, that's awesome.
And I rocked up after school a few days later when he said to come and get it. He didn't finger me on.
No.
But he gave me his leather jacket. It was like a fucking brown tan. I'm picturing like a leather black metal.
Yeah. You're like, oh, like, dang.
Oh, shit. Can't fucking put an Iron Maiden patch on that. Fuck, my fellow metalheads will decapitate me.
Yeah. With your brown tan jacket.
So excited. I had heaps of weird shit happen there. One day, because I had to wear glasses because they kept trying to find out what was wrong with me. So they're going... like that? Brown, light brown. It was a lighter brown. Oh, wow. Yeah, it was almost a light caramel. They sent me up there because every few months, especially at Heather Hill when I was first there, they'd get the community teacher lady to, oh yeah, look, Justin's having a lot of problem. We think it's his eyesight. Yeah, we've done a lot of studies, blah, blah. So they maybe get glasses, big fucking brutal, ugly ones. Yeah. Well, they were just big and tough. I'm the class fuck up. I'm the bad kid. There's no way I'm wearing fucking glasses at 12 or something like that because it just, soul crushing.
Yeah.
So then I barely wore them. I kept breaking them. Then I was at reform school and they've gone, okay, everyone who has to wear glasses, you're going to start wearing them. So I've like pulled the screws out of all of them. So they just start falling apart over a couple of days. Oh, sorry, the screws, I can't wear them. They're like, they sent me because they just go, well, go on the bus. Here's $1. Go up and get the bus at the Glen Waverley Square.
Yeah.
And get them fixed. So I did that. And
did you get the right bus or did you?
Yeah, no, I got there. I just took my fucking time.
Couldn't see what the number was?
Just took my time. Just cool, I can kill a couple of hours here because they just trusted, go there. If you don't come back, we'll call the police.
I'd like the idea that you ended up on Mentone Beach or something.
Would have been, fuck, if I was quicker then. The weirdest thing, I've gone for a piss. There's a little public toilet in the middle of the square where the car park is. I've grabbed my glasses, going back to the bus stop. Oh, I need a piss. Going in the cubicle. I'm pissing away and a fucking huge vibrator just come rolling off the top of the straight and hit my dick while I was pissing.
Off the top of the what?
Like at the top, like where the vents are, like someone had hidden it at the top of the...
Oh.
Yeah. And I can't remember if someone banged the door on the other side, like in the ladies, and this just oddest fucking thing. I got tacked with a fucking dildo. Just dick still pissing, and I've bolted out of the
really?
Pissing all the way out. This is a 1 hour break from school, 2 hours. And just so many, that period, those years, I had just, every day was something crazy sick happening. And school was cool like that because you had there was these two Matts, and one of them was one of my best mates. They were from Ferntree Gully, crazy dudes. They rode their fucking dirt bikes to school. Parked them at Brandon Park, just like, we don't give a fuck, we got away with it. They've gone to get their bikes later, and there's cops just standing there like, all right, boys. Arrested, bikes confiscated. How
long did they get away with that for?
Oh, they did it like one day. It was
just one time.
But then the next week, someone stole their mum's car. And I couldn't be fucked catching the bus. Mum's away. We caught a limo from Cranbourne, me and Brett. He was my best mate at the time. Dad was in jail. He got out of jail. His dad was pretty cool for drug offences. But Brett was just a crim, born. If he could steal, he stole. Yeah. And it was he just loved it. So I'd go stay at his house in Cranbourne, and his parents were his mum was just, do what you want, whatever you want. Come home now, I trust the boys. And it was just like, we'll be back.
Was she just like, was it that she was naive to it, or was she didn't care?
I think she was a bit didn't care and a bit naive. I think she was a bit
She didn't
naive.
think they were getting up to that
cool.
much.
Nah, she wouldn't have known what. I mean, we were making 1,000 a night at 14.
Fuck.
Right? Every night. And it was just car after car after car.
Okay, yeah. Wow.
And it got to we caught a limo.
Did you have to hotwire a car? Are you allowed to talk about this? How long has it been?
I'll talk. Oh, it doesn't matter. I'll talk about it.
Oh, okay. They can't convict you of that now. There's a law that goes that was too long ago now.
They wouldn't. I haven't done anything lock-upable for a long time.
And you were probably under the age
under that. Oh, yeah, I was like 14.
Yeah.
Then, but I never stole cars, but we'd break into them for the money.
Yeah,
but we'd break into people's garages to break into their Beamers because we knew there'd be $50.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
He was just, and I actually didn't like doing that, but you just couldn't stop him. You'd just be walking down the street on a day and you'd see someone's window open in their house and a packet of cigarettes, and you'd have to have that packet of cigarettes.
Because it was there and he could see it.
Yeah. It was a compulsive. But we were just rolling in cash. Like we would be, every day we went to the movies, saw the same fucking movies, ate. We'd go to Macca's and buy
Is that why you had the movies in your head from watching reruns?
Yeah. We'd get 4 quarter pounders, but just so we could bite the middle centre of it and throw the rest away.
What?
Like we'd get 4 quarter pounders and just bite the centres because it was the juicy bit with all the sauces.
Really?
Yeah, just throw the rest. Like we had too much money as children. Even at 12, I had that problem.
You had quarter pounder centres money.
Yeah.
No one's got that money.
That started at 12. We had Jason Smith, rest his lovely soul, who was my best mate growing up. He was the same dude. He just couldn't help but fucking taking shit. And I remember we were 12, we had thousands of dollars at 12, and some reason he could get away with shit where he could buy something his mum wouldn't question. Where if I rocked up, my mum would be like, how the fuck you got that?
How'd you afford?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even when we had this fraud where we'd do our paper rounds, so we'd have the crate, and then on the way back, we'd go through the primary schools and tip all the big M's in, and then come home with fucking crates of big M's.
What?
Because at the primary schools, they just dump the milk next to the canteen.
That's right. Yeah.
So we'd just ride through
and take the whole thing.
Tip all the big M's. He could put them in his fridge. I'd have to hide them in a gym bag behind the bricks in the backyard. And I'd go back.
How long would they last for?
Well, that's where I fucked up. There was a few days of I'll go have a big M. I grabbed like a caramel, and it's just gone glonk, and it was off. And I just remember.
I can beat that.
Okay.
I went to when I was a kid with a big M at like a nature reserve in Phillip Island, and for some reason I just shook it for ages, right? And I drank it, and I drank the whole thing, and I was thinking it was very creamy. It was like 5 months over its expiry date, but I shook it so much it blended it like.
Dude.
I drank the whole thing, and like 15 minutes later, just spewing like.
So you don't need Yakult.
No.
Forever. It's in my veins.
It was the worst.
Well, that gym bag, it was a leather, one of them old leather 70s ones. And I put it...
Was it a tan brown?
No, but
like
it was blue.
my wallet?
No, it was blue with the stripes. But I put it beyond... And I remember going back like 6 months later, probably post-summer, and I opened the bag and it was black and like a war, an army of flies just went...
yeah, okay. All right. I've got a phobia of what you're going to talk about next.
Oh, no, I'm not going anywhere else.
Okay, cool.
That's done. That was but that period, yeah, we would be up there, and there was one joint up the road, Nautilus, and it ended up changing. It was a Nautilus gym, and it had a pool, it had squash courts, spa, sauna, and it was probably, it's probably still there, actually. There's a Chinese temple there now on Springvale Road, the huge temple.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right near there. So we used to go there and pay $2 and we'd swim in the pool because the meatheads would be in the gym training. They wouldn't rarely go in the pool or the spa. So me and my mates would do that. But we knew how to pick locks. We learned how to pick locks at a real young age, and we'd make these little lock picks with hacksaws. We'd file them down and stuff like that. It was just something we were good at. So we'd go around just picking locks, and we'd end up...
Just for the fun of it.
Dude,
just the
I
challenge.
remember year 7... The biggest thing at year 7, the first big craze, was how many locks could you get. So all day, all we did, because we'd have our keys, was go, and this was the biggest thing. I'm just realising how massive this was to us. I'm just remembering. We would go to flats, units, so after school for hours until we had to be home, we were stealing locks off people's padlock letterboxes. It was just, how many locks did you get yesterday? That was the thing. I got into a Lockwood so-and-so and so-and-so, like a rare one you couldn't get into. I picked it. That was the biggest thing.
I remember
at school.
we on all the lockers at our school, we had these padlocks with the combination where you twist it one way, the other way, and the other way. And we figured out a way that you could just pull on the lock really gently and turn it, and you'd get like that little weird little sort of feeling in it.
Yeah, I know the one because I can pick those ones.
Yeah.
Because of that.
And then you'd do that, and you'd just be able to do everyone's lockers.
Well, what Jason would do, we'd go into the change rooms because you'd have all people, businessmen, and I reckon probably in hindsight there was probably an area where there was blokes blowing it like a perfect gay beat or something like that. For all because we're oblivious to that shit. But we'd go into their lockers, break in, go grab money out of their wallets and stuff like that, and we'd have hundreds of bucks at like 11, 12. And the summer of 12, that was just fucking nuts.
Because when you're 11 or 12, and once you've done it a few times, then it becomes like, oh no, this is something that I just do.
Yeah.
At that age.
Yeah.
And you don't really get scared about it. So, and you're not old enough to have that kind of self-control that a child has.
I did. So I was with people who were obsessed. So I was never obsessed with money. So I never steal. I never did that sort of thing. But it was cool because we'd end up and it'd be like, fuck, I got $500 and I'm 12. Yeah. Awesome. And it was Christmas was our big haul. This one we went into a locker and there was scratchy cards, like the $10 ones, which is a lot back then.
Yeah.
$10 scratchies. And there was a pile of them, maybe 50 and $100 note. And Jason's like, $100 note. I'm like, yeah. And he keeps going. He goes, oh, scratchies. I'm like, oh, cool. Take a heap. We'll scratch them. Oh, they're already scratched. They're all winners. What? This dude must have spent thousands to get. They were all winners.
Oh, wait. Like, that's legit?
A pile of winners. Like,
I thought it was like they were fake or something like that.
They were all winners. So he's obviously spent thousands to make whatever.
Wait, where was he?
This is in Springvale South.
But where was the guy?
Probably getting sucked off in the spa, right?
Oh, okay.
Circle jerking in the squash court. I don't know. No, probably training or swimming or something like that. So we'd run in and just click, click, click. Locker, and then...
Why would you have that in your locker?
Yeah. Well, then we nicked off and then we're looking at it around the corner and it was like, fuck, put the 100 back. So we put the 100 back to be nice for Christmas. Took these.
To be nice because he's just so generous.
We went back to my joint. We're looking, and it was like $70, $100, $180, $12, $30, $40, $50, $100, just constant.
But then you have to cash them all.
So
and be on camera doing that.
No, back then.
Oh yeah, there wasn't cameras.
We'd go to the newsagents and just go, oh hi, can I get a packet of cigarettes? Thanks. Yeah, it's from my nan. She wanted me to cash these too, and she wanted the magazine. Oh, the old, and you pick an old lady one. That one, yeah. She wants that as well, please. And they just give it to you, and you cash. You got fucking $300 in your pocket. So what we did, we went to the city.
Fuck.
And we
12-year-olds are smart.
We got off. I was really fucking smart. We'd get off at certain train stops along the rail from Springvale to the CBD, and just do the same thing. Go into a newsagents, cool. Throw the magazine. Magazines are 50 cents probably by then. Just throw it in the bin. Keep walking. Got another 300. Get it back on the train. Go to the next stop, go to the newsagent.
Yeah, wow.
So we ended up in the CBD without. That's the day I got my ear pierced. And that's where the Big Mac, we just did pennies, we just played it. And that whole summer.
Best
dude,
summer ever.
Noble Park Pools had a pool slide and it was like $50 for an all day.
Like rocking up in limos.
Yeah. Well, they had a
12-year-olds in a slow-mo, like.
Oh, ballers. Entourage. On our BMXs. Red line. But we
gangster rap play.
Noble Park Pools had this slide. It was cool. And it was like a few bucks to get on. You might get 5 goes for $20 or unlimited for 50. We had the whole fucking year. Just all we would do is go to Noble Park Pools all day, up and down. Whatever we wanted to eat, we're just rich. It was just...
And fit.
And then 14, from going up the stairs. Then 14 was the same thing with Brett, because he was 14, 15. He was just killing it in Cranbourne, and got a limo. We didn't get caught for that. I thought somehow we're going to get done for this. But he just made out, my mother, it was booked by his mum.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. It was, that period was fucking wicked. But also, that's the other thing. You learn, you start drinking, and that's where the weed sort of started for me. I got my first bong was with probably 12, McDonald's car park in Noble Park in a bush next to Skate World, and didn't do a lot. And I had a few times, and it didn't really hit me.
Yeah.
And I got to, sometimes it doesn't hit people to start with.
Yeah,
and
it creeps up.
Then there was one time.
Is that what you're talking about?
No,
because everyone was obsessed with it creeping up.
No.
When you were a kid.
No, it didn't hit me for the first few times I smoked.
Oh, really?
My old gang Scum. Sick, crazy, ugly motherfuckers. Shout out to Dean. It was Dean's birthday a couple of days ago. I posted Scum for life on him.
Is he still? What's he up to these days?
Well, he's not in jail. He's one of the normal ones.
That's good.
There was a few that was just, they all ended up going to armed robberies and shit. This is all when I was like 14, 15, 16, this sort of period. When I was in the reform school.
So some went normal afterwards?
Yeah, a few went normal, but they were years older than me. They were a couple of years older, so I was the youngest one in the sort of... We weren't really a gang like we were a gang. We're just a bunch of metalheads that would just fuck shit up.
Oh, okay,
like if we went to a party, it would just... be massive. People would come to Ross Reserve, Noble Park Pools, because we just sat there with our ghetto blaster playing Def Leppard. It's tough, but all our metal would be playing. But that was when Pour Some Sugar on Me and all that came out, Hysteria album. And people would just come there because they knew every Friday, Saturday night, the footy over would just be our party. We'd have motorbike, we'd be rocking up on our dirt bike, and just cops would come and we just didn't give it 2 fucks. They'd still, like, there was one dude, Matt, HQ was his nickname, because all he did was walk around. If he saw a HQ, he'd go up and break into it and drive it away. He couldn't walk past one. Got a habit of meeting people with these obsessive compulsive, really weird. Yeah, and then Jerry liked licking windows. But yeah, so that's when I was walking through Noble Park Drains, the same spot where I lost my virginity, and all the boys were smoking under there with a heap of girls, and Mario bought an ounce, and I was smoking some, like cleaning out the bong, getting the excess smoke, and I got fucked up, and then I had to go home, and I just, how the fuck do I act normal? I got away with it, and then Daniel Faithful, this other dude, I got to stay with him, and then that was the second. I remember the munchies, and my parents had to pick me up because we're going to someone's house, and I'm in the back seat just off my fucking face. Yeah. Like, how the fuck do I not let them click on that I'm so stoned?
They probably knew.
Yeah. They'd probably be there. But yeah, what about yourself? When did you...
I think I was 13.
13?
Yeah. And... that was like not long after started smoking cigarettes, I think.
Yep.
And,
the real gateway drug.
Yeah, absolutely. And then my sister gave me and my mate some weed, her and her friend. I think they were all at my house for some reason. And Like, it just made us laugh our asses off.
Yeah.
We just sat there and just
lot,
giggled like fucks, you know? It was,
And did that become regular? Because that
it did a little bit around 14, 15, a little bit. But it wasn't like, I wasn't like the biggest pothead at school, you know?
Well, that's...
I was maybe equal.
No, I'm fine.
At one point.
Because I'm equal. Because it is, and that was the thing I learnt. A lot of friends at that age, a lot of kids, and that's where the negatives with smoking are getting on it too young and not having a mindset to, you can focus on, it's all right to do it, but don't sit on the fucking couch. I had a lot of friends who just become nothing because of it.
That's what happens to me. I can't.
And there's a way to learn. I mean, that's the thing. I'm a lot more pro it now because I've learned to use it right.
Yeah.
In what I believe, it's sort of, with meditation,
doing
yoga, it's completely different. Even weight training is completely. It's almost I meditate.
I couldn't imagine doing that. All I want to do is sit on the couch and eat.
Well, that's
barbecue,
the tough thing.
old school barbecue shapes with French onion dip.
With
please,
with polly waffles and all those mythical lollies that were around.
No, I'm serious. Like, that's all I want to do, and then go to bed.
Yeah, but that's fine. Like, there's no issue with. I don't have an issue with people doing all that, but for me, it was like that, where it was like that negative, where I don't do anything, I don't answer the phone, I just smoke, and you end up in your own little inside your own head.
Yeah,
I think, and. It's pure, I think, because it's just my age and life experience now. And even positive people like, Diaz and Joe Rogan, guys like that you wouldn't think they're on it. You wouldn't think they're on it. Sounds like it's bad. You wouldn't think they smoke because he's go-getter.
Yeah.
And it smashes that traditional belief of, stoners just sit on the couch and that kills brain cells and blah, blah, blah.
But a lot do.
A lot do. and that's also...
A lot do sit on the couch.
And that was a big thing for me going back to LA last year and getting my weed card, was to experiment with the different types, because I've got injuries and things, and I wanted to go, all right, you claim that it is medicinal?
I reckon that's probably also got something to do with it. Like... A lot of comedians and stuff smoke a lot of weed over there. Yeah. Like, a lot.
Yeah. You smell it when you walk down the street. It's fucking awesome. Same with Toronto.
And it's because medicinal, this is my theory I just came up with.
Yep.
Is it because there's it's been legalized for medicinal purposes. People have cards and stuff.
So we have to
They don't have the same paranoia as if it's completely illegal.
Yep.
So maybe that because the fact that it's completely illegal makes you go, okay, well, I'm just going to stay and do this in behind closed doors.
That is a big thing that I believe it sort of clicked on a couple of years ago, that thing where they say, as opposed to us to here we're sitting on our couches because we're not allowed to come out of the house.
Yeah.
And the other thing is strains. Now it's getting better, but I reckon for the last 15 years, it was indica all the way in Australia.
Yeah.
Whether it deliberately got bred out or whatever, but I never had sativas.
Yeah.
Which is an up.
Yeah.
But you have sativa, I'm off. And I'm fucking writing and I'm going, I'm training, and I'm doing things. Having indica, I want to go to sleep. And different strains, obviously. That's what I did learn over there. I reckon we've had indica for fucking years, so everyone sits on the couch.
Yeah.
All right. Over there, you go in and you say, look, I'm creating...
This is how I want to feel.
Here,
There's
that.
one for you.
Yep. I just need one to knock me out, a good indica. Yeah, cool, this one will knock you out in 10 minutes. Thanks. My knee's fucked. I can't walk. It's killing me. That's what I tested on my knee injury. Because I knew I'd be walking for miles through LA during the day because I love walking around. Can I get something that'll kill that? And it did. And
wow.
Like, okay. It's not... Because there's always, and to be honest, that question of, all right, is it medicinal or is it medicinal? Just, so we can get stoned now and sit on the couch. And I was all excited that, wicked, you can go do that. But there was that question, can I really fix things? Can it really be used? And I know it can be used for so many wonderful things. It did.
Is that just being used for pain management, or is it actually doing something more? Like, is there an anti-inflammatory aspect?
Yeah, there is. Well, now that's the fortunate thing with it being legalised in so many states over in America and countries and stuff like that, is now because they weren't allowed to do studies on it because it's a level 1 or whatever it is, Schedule 1 narcotic. It's the same as heroin and all this. So, it's got no medicinal value. Well, you can eat it, live off it for food. Yeah. You can eat the fucking thing. No medicinal value. And everyone knows that and Queensland, I think, has just done a shocker and made it really fucking illegal in the last day. I didn't read the full thing yesterday.
Really?
But they've changed. Yeah, they've gone backwards.
They've gone the other way.
Yeah.
But
whereas Victoria's
that's the kind of
the other way.
They are, though, isn't it? Like, they're the conservative state, aren't they?
Yeah, they are in a lot of ways. Laws, the sex industry laws, to a lot of different things. They're different.
The anti-association laws.
Yeah, everything's sort of. It used to be Victoria they tested, and I think they're doing a lot of their testing through Queensland.
I don't think that there are even things that they intend to take to other states. I really don't think that they're testing it for.
They're a bit like Texas. Like, this is us. Fuck off.
Yeah,
they are a bit like.
Yeah.
We want to secede from the union. Well, you want to get our teeth back up in Queensland. Shout out to all the Brisbane listeners. But it was that was an interesting thing to really go, okay, it does. I'm finding things, and in this period of smoking, because, I do smoke a lot, then I quit, then I smoke, then I quit, because I feel the time when I have to stop for a while. But in this period, I've been focused, but getting strains for the knee. Yeah. And it's like, cool, I can train, I can do things without pain.
This is like, I've found my meds.
But focus, and that's a big thing I was reading a lot on with ADHD, bipolar, and different conditions like that. Obviously, people take some pretty full-on medications for certain things, and I'm against, for me. But I've found now with certain strains, I'm not doing 6 things at once. I can do one. I'm just erratic as hell and creative as hell. So I was doing it I think it was yesterday or the day before, writing jokes. It was basically on one page, I'd write one line, a tag, flip the page, write another tag to another joke. And I just kept going page to page to page instead of sitting there. And I'm like, I can't fucking... I just can't see
which one is going to come out, because I've thought of 10 premises, but now I can't really remember which one it was.
Oh, no, I'm fine with it all, but I just can't go, just sit with, the new bit about that and just work on that joke. It throws, but when I get the right strains, then it's just like, cool, I'm calm, settled. I'm as creative, but I can just speak calm.
But you got the focus. And
I'm like, all right, let's just work on it. And then that page fills up. The same amount gets done to an extent, but there's not that focus and commitment to something. But it's the same with achieving, like doing those tables that I'd been working on over at the club. Wouldn't have happened if I wasn't smashed. It was just boom, all right, machine mode, or I'm not going to get this done. And it made it fun as well, the conversations with myself. But no, so obviously Victoria's legalised it for the medicinal, very strict sort of guidelines with it now. And people are saying it'll end up legalised, like Canada. Now Canada, you can go to shops and buy chocolates, and just like LA, the Prime Minister just went, all right, enough of the bullshit. All right, just enough. Let's make some money off it and all that stuff. So, and then, so you were smoking heaps at school?
Yeah, a fair bit, but not like everyday kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it was back when, it was only still back when you'd get a gram and you'd go,
and it would last.
let's have,
It would last everyone, yeah. fuck, imagine a quarter then. It would last me months. Now it lasts me 2 days. And then stopped and then gone back to it?
Well, I stopped. The reason I stopped is because I had, when I was, how old would I have been? I think I would have been 15. Yeah, it was when I'd left school. I had I had 2 acid trips double dipped while I was working at McDonald's.
Tell us about this wonderful double dose of acid.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so like I was saying with my music, how I didn't do the drugs when I was playing gigs by then because I got over it when I was younger.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'd only ever had half a trip before. And these ones, they were called Hoffman 2000s. And I'll never forget them.
Shout out to the Hoffmans.
Yeah. Like they were, but like if people know acid, if anyone listening to this knows acid back then in Australia, at least, they'll remember these.
Yep.
So they had a reputation. And so I'd only ever had half a trip before, and I was finishing my shift at 8 after the dinner rush, and at 5 I just couldn't help myself, but I had one.
And were you on the fryer?
I was in the kitchen.
Oh, shit.
And my mate in there, when it was really starting to kick in, he started fucking with me. Oh. And him and I were the only people that knew. And like the bun steamer for the like McChicken burgers over the other side would, like, the bell would ring and I'd go over there, I'd pull it out, there'd be nothing in there, like the tray. And I'd be looking around and my mate seriously like, I saw him run that way. Like, because I was just fucking with me the whole shit.
Oh shit! And what about patrons? Yeah.
I didn't have to. Oh well, I did interact with one from a distance accidentally.
They'll probably face to face with you too, but you saw them miles away, and you're yelling at them. Hey! Another 2 minutes on the chips.
Oh wait, no, it wasn't from a distance.
Yeah, face to face.
She came up behind me, right? And it was right when I was finishing. But like, and she was like a regular, this old lady, and she used to have like a special burger made for her.
With cat food.
I'm realizing how
Double
ridiculous.
up on the whiskers, love.
I'm realizing how ridiculous this fucking story is.
Don't be cheap on the pal.
So, oh man, and she said something to me right behind me, and I jumped around and went like just like that, and she went. Her head went back. She went.
But it just kept going back.
But like it was just like one of those. Like if you shone a spotlight on me and I went like she was like, whoa. And I was like, yeah, and then I had to go to the back, like out to
hide.
And hide for.
So I'd do that when I'd get stoned. Like there was a point at the gyms where I was smashed all the time, and it was usually where I was like, yeah, I don't care about this job anymore, I'm going to be stoned all the time. But I'd put in fake appointments, so the owner would go, oh, Flemo's booked solid, he's our biggest trainer. And I was just like, yeah, some of them are real until you leave. And then when he'd go home, I'd walk in stoned, but then I'd double up and I'd just be sitting there at the desk just for absolute, just didn't give a shit. But there was that point, and with weed, it's when I first start smoking or it's new to me where I get that paranoia. You can't go out talking to people at the shop and you're just like... The worst was my ex-girlfriend Monique and I got stoned. I wasn't used to... I got a mate to roll us a joint or somewhere at his house, brother Jay's. We went to the Keg for dinner. It was one of our first dates. I think it was our first date. and we rolled a joint in the car park. I had the joint in the car park, went in and couldn't fucking order.
Yeah.
We were under the table just crying.
Yeah.
And I've got the menu on the table and the guy's just standing there staring and I'm hitting the numbers, just going, the number 23. And she's like pulling me down onto the ground. And the whole restaurant are just watching us annihilate at this table.
And that was just being stoned?
That was stoned.
Wow.
But
when you were so giggly when you were young anyway. It was
you are. And it'd be now, if I didn't smoke for a year and then had 2 puffs, I'd be giggling my ass off and smashed like mad.
Yeah.
But I'm just used. And I find things funny. And now it's, I find things funny all the time. I'm thinking funnier all the time in a comic mind. So I'm right. It's the access of writings. It's the best thing I've ever found for creativity when you tap into it the right way. But is Macca's just shocking? Like, would you eat the food?
Yeah, I would. It's like in terms of cleanliness and all of that sort of thing.
Yep. But it's just shit food.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mum made me work at Hungry Jack's in Keysy.
I worked at Hungry Jack's for a day and a half.
This was terrible.
I was too young to know to ask what they're going to pay me, and so I asked like after my first day, and they said $5.35 an hour, and I went,
"Is this America?"
And I just took my apron off of there. And went, okay, I'll bring back the clothes tomorrow, and I just took my stuff and walked out.
I can't remember what else. It was when Keysy, the one on Cheltenham and Springvale Road, just up from there, it first opened. It was brand new, and I remember Mum took me to training at then because Mum was like, "You're getting a job."
Yeah.
And I was only 14 or something, and that was my prime. That's when I was part and just.
So she thought if you've gotten a job, you'll be out of trouble and you'll have money.
Oh, I think she just goes, "Cool, you can make some money, so you can give it to me."
Okay.
I think I was her brain. I was only like 14.
Yeah.
And I was wild as fuck. So they make me dress up. Like even the uniform was, hang on, this is an issue. I can't wear that. It's not metal. Just dumb. But I think I only lasted probably 2 months. It was the worst. And you'd have like a smutty fucking 18-year-old manager that just telling, I'm fucking a boss.
Yeah.
And then they kindly sort of told me, don't have to come back because we got robbed. There was an armed robbery. And they were a bit sus on me in it because I was laughing at the manager. And because he started shitting himself. Like 2 dudes come in and he's crying and I was laughing at him because he was crying. Because I was loving it. I was just like, this is awesome. You're doing what I wish I could to this guy. And then obviously the police come in and all that. And then, I didn't have to do a shift after that. Because they were like, hang on, were you in on it? And I just go, no, I was just glad he got up. He was crying. He was acting so tough and bad like 20 minutes earlier. Now this guy's on his knees begging for mummy.
The Macca's thing, like, because I was saying I was going to go see Blair Witch.
Oh, yeah.
And so me and my friends were going to go see it. And they worked there as well. They all finished at the same time as me. And they, like, just a couple of these girls that worked at the front, so they didn't see me in the back, being all trippy. And so when we got to their car, we weren't sure because it was the opening night, and we weren't sure if it was if I was going to get in or not because it was it rated R?
Yeah.
So, and I was 16, and so we had to go to the Jam Factory, which is like a big cinema.
It's an MA. There's only implied violence. You don't actually see nothing. We
didn't know whether what it was. Yep. And so we'd have to go from Blackburn to there, and if I couldn't get in, then I've got to from the Jam Factory back to Blackburn.
Yep.
So And when I was in the car, I was already freaking out because I thought I had feathers. Right. And they've gone...
No, it's the aircon. You're not blowing away.
Like, I thought they were behind my ears. I'm like, fuck, I've got feathers. Like, I'm a bird. And, yeah, so they were like, oh, we want to see the other one. Can we see the other one? And this is like 8:15. I'm like, no, I can't take it out of the foil, otherwise it'll start evaporating. And I was like, okay. And I took it out and I put it on my finger, and I was in the back seat and they were both sitting in the front seats. And I went like that, and their heads looked down at it, and then I just went and put it in my mouth. And they just looked up at me and they're like, oh, but you were just saying you've got feathers and you did that.
And then how long did you hang with God? How many hours?
Well, I ended up not being able to leave McDonald's, first of all, because I thought that there was all bugs outside. Yep. Like, because they were like, there might have been one moth on the window, but I was seeing like the windows were covered in bugs, and if I don't want to open the door, and I've got a phobia of bugs, like I was sort of telling you before.
Yep.
And so I'm like, okay, well, I'll just keep myself busy, and I was helping people out. I couldn't leave there. 2:30 in the morning, one of the finished clothes for the night. I was quote unquote helping. I knocked a broom and they had all of the toppings from the sundae machine all sitting up on the front counter, and I knocked because they're cleaning it, and I knocked this broom and it hit one of them and they all dominoed. And then topping was just all over the whole front counter.
Please tell me you licked it up.
And they're like, well, you better clean it up.
Get a spoon.
But then I'm like getting one clean cloth out of the cloth basket. I put it on, go like, and then put it straight into and then get another clean one. Like a fucking idiot. They're like, oh no, just use the same one, just because it's dirty.
Move the stuff.
Yeah. And like, I was scrubbing and scrubbing. I could still see pink from the strawberry on there, and I'm scrubbing for fucking ages, and it's still like, I'm like, fuck, I've stained it pink. I've like stained the whole front counter pink. And then someone came up to me and goes, Chris, it's clean. There was no pink there at all.
Do you get... That's what I was going to ask about acid. So obviously you're seeing bugs. You're just seeing bugs. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
You can't go, all right, this isn't real.
I have been able to do that.
Yeah, but at some points.
Yeah, like, and it's not like... But it's not like a bad... It's like I can see a lot of movement out there. It's not like detailed bugs.
Yep.
It's like there's movement out there and I can see stuff and it's bugs.
Yep.
And that's what I know.
Do you get, when you come off and you're coming down, do you get like a grid sort of look?
Oh.
A pattern?
Yeah, that was...
Slight?
I used to get that grid thing with MDMA if I had a lot of MDMA.
Fuck, I never had... But you get that with mushrooms.
A lot of MDMA.
Yeah. I've got plenty of that. After mushrooms and DMT as well, you get that grid.
I haven't had DMT.
But that's what I was thinking, what the pink could be, because you're going to try to wash the
that
grid
was
away.
like, that was the start.
That
wasn't even the end. That wasn't
That's
even
where
the
it all
peak.
began.
That was just the beginning.
Yep.
Like, you know that thing where you have the wall and floor doing that, when that wavy thing, like everything's just rippling?
I haven't done acid. No.
Okay, so you get this thing where like everything's just rippling, like just the walls are like everything's just pulsating and moving.
Yep, breathing.
Yeah, and it just looks like a ripple to me.
Yeah, it's similar. Like if you're in nature doing mushrooms, you see the trees and plants actually breathing and moving, and so wow, they're all alive. Like
So I had that, which is when you're peaking on acid for 17 hours.
Imagine if it's wrong. If you go down the wrong path, it's 17 fucking hours.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was like...
I'd be having a CD collection ready that gets me out of hell.
And that's what brings me to, after that, I couldn't smoke weed anymore. It brought it all back every single time. Full hallucinations.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Nuts.
But also I thought that I could even make if I concentrated, I could make it do it really slightly when I wasn't on acid after that for like 2 years.
Fuck. That's full on. See, weed is a psychedelic.
Yeah.
And people, and that's obviously the difference with eating it. It becomes a completely different chemical breakdown.
Yeah.
Through the gut. So, and eating it is more of a psychedelic drug. It's you take enough, you go deep enough, meditate on, and you will. And I've seen,
totally.
I've been on mushrooms, and even just with the joint. The first time it happened was about 2 years ago. It was the last Monday of the year, I think. It was, I think, the second Monday I'd done it, and I had a really good gig, and I hadn't smoked for a long time, and I had a couple of puffs, and went home to the old place and laid down, and as soon as I laid down, just boom, like I had mushrooms, and I was just having full on psychedelic experience, and that's where I got it. I was like, oh fuck. Dude, it's a fucking... But what it is, you sit on the couch and smoke and don't do things or play PlayStation or do stuff like that all the time. You don't
experience.
And that, I think that's where the breakdown of everything started happening for me, where it was like, all right, things are for different things. And that's where I got hungry. I thought, fuck it, I'm going to go test it out overseas while I'm there and see if things are medicinal, really. Because then meditating on it is doing yoga on it, even, like I say, train jiu-jitsu or kickboxing or whatever, love it. If I'm really can get which is hard for me to get obliterated. That's why I'd love to have edibles in Australia. But training on that is a completely different thing. The focus for me, and
you can feel
I'm calm.
You can feel your muscles doing their thing. Like there's a lot of you can make yourself hyper aware of one particular.
Well, you can, but you also you get connected to more oneness, which sounds a bit hippyish, but I think it can get you into the zone, which is an important thing athletes know about or whatever. Where you play footy and ball bounces, and 3 minutes in you've got 3 goals and you kick them, and it's sort of blurry what happened. Because you just did. You're not thinking, if I run over here, you just went with it, your peripherals on, and you're just being. Yeah. And it's the same in music or comedy where you're in the zone, you're just being on stage, and it's usually that's when you're at your best.
So just really present.
Yeah, it's you're connected, and you're not thinking, you just, here I am. And I'm fortunate that I felt it in music, I felt it in sport a lot throughout my whole life because I've always played something, and that's where the greats come in. They can consistently tap into the zone. There's a lot of books on it, the power of the zone. They're spoken in that way, but there'd be different forms of how it is. But that's the great thing; it takes you there. And a lot of people like now they're microdosing with a lot of acid and LSD and mushrooms.
Yeah, I actually considered. Was I talking to you about it?
We might have spoke about it,
Yeah, I considered trying it out, but I don't know. I guess I got over it.
I've got to go find it.
Well, that's one thing is that you got to go find it.
But you see, I would love it if I was in that grid all day. And that's the thing I come out. I think when I come out of DMT was one of the last mushroom trips. I was like, fuck, there's just a definite grid of squares and it's moving around and I can see it and your face will have, and I can line things up. Are you thinking
because I work in computers that I'm seeing grids like it's the Matrix? Is it like...
Well, it's like Tron. That's what it's like. Like, I see that every time I have
Nah, I don't get that.
Okay, I get that. So, and I've spoken like friends, and they go, yeah, you get that as well.
Maybe I do. It's been so long.
But I always thought, wouldn't it be awesome? I'm in that zone now, and I can see this perfect grid around everything.
Oh, yeah. So wasn't for me, wasn't coming down. I just start seeing patterns in everything, the pattern of everything.
Yeah, well, this was just, it was like there is a pattern, a grid here. It wasn't moving. I move around it. But I thought you go play pool.
Oh, like just in the air.
Yeah.
Okay.
When Izzy and I did mushrooms out in Flagstaff Gardens, he was having a shocker.
Oh, really?
He goes, you asshole. He goes, I'm looking at you and you've got like 8 eyes on your forehead and you look like you're shining to heaven.
I couldn't even imagine Izzy on mushrooms.
And I'm sitting next to him just beaming. And I was just looking at this grid in the sky.
Yeah.
And I could see it like, oh, wow, it felt like we're in a dome or a flat earth here. But I thought, go play sport on that. Because, that's point A to point B. It's literally squares. So you line up the pool ball with that grid to that grid. It's like you've laid a grid on top of the table.
Yeah. But like micro-dosing isn't going to get you to that point. It's not even, you're not even going to feel it. Like, it's just does, I think it does something.
Creating that little, the third eye or...
Yeah, just it makes, I don't know, it apparently makes a lot of people a lot more productive.
I'll read up on it.
Yeah.
All right. I'll break it down next.
And then I'll listen to who you have on next.
Yeah, I'll break it down for you.
Yeah.
It's not that. I can read. Well, that's the problem. You go, that sounds fucking awesome. If they're doing it in Silicon Valley, I want to do it.
Yeah.
I want to research.
In Greensey.
Just do it.
yeah, exactly.
I'll be like them.
Yeah, I'll just go to my dealer and then get some scissors and cut it up into little bits.
That's how fuck people are. Because we go, oh, what? The Rock takes that supplement. I better buy it. Then I'll be like him.
Yeah, exactly.
Test it. It's GNC. It's got to not have deadly chemicals in it or steroids in it.
Yeah. It's going to be exactly the same thing.
Yeah, well, he's got his Mexican chemists and Hollywood chemists on his side as well.
Yeah.
But obviously there's a lot of hard work goes in it. So then, you went downhill from there?
From
the trip?
From the trip.
Back of the car?
Yeah, I don't know.
The Blair Witch. Did you actually get in?
Sorry?
Did you get to see the Blair Witch?
No, I didn't. Because, they decided that they'd go because they didn't think I'd get in. And so I couldn't leave McDonald's. And like 2:30 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning.
That's why you're still in.
Someone had to give me a lift, 5-minute walk to my parents' house. And... my sister and her friend were crashing in the TV room, and I went in there, and her friend's gone. No, Alex, my sister's gone. I'll stay up with you, and her friend's going to go to sleep because she's got to work tomorrow, and so. Me and her friend ended up talking all night. Well, my sister fell asleep. She was the one that passed out, and I kept my friend up all night. But needed someone to just talk to the whole time. I couldn't just. Oh, do you remember that? Do you remember that Apex Twin? Which one? Apex Twin.
Apex Twin. Yeah.
Apex Twin.
The trippy fucker.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Remember that video with the alien that screamed at the old lady in the alleyway?
Yeah.
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 Made me cry. That came on, and I'm like, oh, this is horrifying. Like, tears crying. It freaked me the fuck out.
Dude, I think because these clips are... But the music... That sounds like acid music. It's just so raw.
Yeah.
Like, you think, I guess, in terms of it's a chemical, it's man-made, whereas you go mushroom, that would be...
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to listen to mushrooms on that. Or it doesn't sound like it's made from mushrooms.
No.
That type of, it's abrupt.
No, yeah. It's like,
Bad
very
trip,
acid.
motherfucker.
Yeah, totally.
Go there. And what about LSD? Have you done that? Imagine they're pretty
Liquid
similar.
LSD. LSD is acid, right?
Well, yeah, maybe it is. That's what I've presumed they'll pretty much the same. So I have no interest in. So, well, mind you, I had DMT, but to get that same result, obviously ayahuasca or whatever, but that wasn't a great.
I went through a phase a few years ago actually where just at mushy season I'd go picking and have like I'd make smoothies out of them.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah, like Boost juice.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I took him to this bar once, like had a gig and smuggled it in like my friend's big handbag, and like I'd made like a big 1.25 litre bottle of it.
Oh, wicked.
And a bunch of people on the dance floor got like iced waters. Everyone sculled them down. We just filled it up. Like half the dance floor's got these like smoothies that they don't sell there. Like these pink smoothies.
That'll shoot you in the middle of the universe if you eat the wrong block.
Yeah.
Well, that's all. So I enjoy the mushrooms because the coming down off it's a similar feeling to be really the best high. It's very similar to that where you just.
The only thing about mushrooms I don't like is the tummy ache. Like
you get a bit
the
sick.
nauseous.
I document it, and each time I've done it, it's to sort of work on something or improve myself and get through something.
I've already every single time I did mushrooms, I got something out of it at the end. I always had an
intention.
Everything is going to be okay moment.
Yeah. Well, that's what I always done it with. I had an intention, and like the first one, I bawled for like 2 hours. There was a pile of toilet paper built up on the floor like a wall. I was just bored, but just more realisation. I guess because your ego getting smacked to the side. And you're like, shit, that was your fault, you idiot. Or
did you have a fair? You sound like you probably had a fair bit of that growing up, like a lot of, like with the punch-ons and a lot of ego and stuff that you needed to.
Well, I wasn't in a lot of punch-ons so much growing up, but it didn't need to be. Yeah, to an extent. Yeah, I guess in Springy and all that, I had a reputation where you could just get away with. Use that, and which I did. I didn't like fighting. I wasn't all that tough. Yeah, in that regard. Anyway, I was skinny little runt, but there was an opinion. There was just a perception. So I was like, cool, I'll use that.
Yeah, I had more like if I broke up with a girlfriend kind of thing, where like, it's okay, I can move on now. That's
what my stuff was. And all the crime was over girls. But I was writing everything down, so there was obviously a fiance that was a big one. But then a really sweet girl that I broke her heart, because I wasn't ready to post
and you're
that.
Like, fuck.
Yeah, and I felt really like just went about it the wrong way and stuff like that, and sort of understood, I guess, more of a connection to those two people anyway, as where they were coming from. I could really look at their points of view because was moved. So there's a lot of realisation and a lot of sorry, which is good. I love when I did the Vipassana meditation a couple of years ago. That's 10 days.
The
silence.
Retreat thing.
Yeah, 10 days silence. I think it was about because another ex told me about it. She goes, "Oh, you'll love it, bunny rabbit. Go and do this, my little..." She calls me Bunny Rabbit. And she's like, "Oh, Bunny Rabbit, go do that. Oh, you'll love it." So I've gone, and she was telling me about it. And she goes, on like the 5th day, like, everyone was crying. And I'm like, yeah, I need to cry. So I was, I went into it to meditate and do. And I like the idea of being dead quiet for 10 days, no one talking to me. It was just like, this could be heaven.
Oh yeah, because like, is the talking to you? What is it? Because they're like complaining about something like?
Oh, just general conversation. It was for me for 10 days where I don't have to hear a voice.
Okay.
And I don't have to speak and give anyone attention. I'm really quiet. Like I can easily sit in a room for 3 days and I'm
be introverted.
Yeah, I'm quite happy.
Yeah.
I can just sit and I'm in my own head most of the time anyway. So for me, I was fucking loving it. Felt like a monk, heavy metal monk with my Manowar hoodie on. But yeah, day 5 or whatever, I'm sitting there like, and it brings up a lot of emotion. Like you get emotional because, you know, you're sitting there for fucking all day, all
So
night,
you've got
from
to
4 in the
think
morning,
about a lot of things.
meditating. Not, you know, it's all day, all night basically.
Oh, okay.
Get a couple of breaks. Yeah, and things come up and people are bolting, they're crying.
Wow.
And running out like, I can't do this. 2 days in.
Wow.
And me, I'm there about 5 and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to cry now. And then the next day I'm like, so when's the crying start? Next day I'm like, come on guys, can we cry now? I'm ready. And it got to the end, no one cried. Like there wasn't this big cry day, but I built it up. I was looking forward.
Oh, that was like,
oh, this sounds great. I get
can't
to have a
wait
cry day.
Yeah.
And I
But
get
you're
there,
like so excited that
yeah, and it finished and I'm like, oh, I just want
that
to
made you cry.
Everyone's happy. And then I was sulked. I went into my room and I was bald. And then everyone was talking and I didn't speak to anyone. I was like, hopefully I can get out of here with speaking to anyone.
Yeah.
And then I can remain in silence for another week in my hotel room.
Really?
Yeah. I was just going to hide in my hotel room.
Did you?
Nah, someone fucking spoke to me. I was really down too. I was really like, it didn't do good. It did good for me in hindsight, but at the time I was like, I was looking as to fix a problem.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know
I see what you're
this
saying.
will fix me. This will get rid of
This
the
will
hurt.
get-
This will fix me.
Yeah.
And I was jumping at a period. I was so lost in that period.
Depression?
I was running away from depression. It
Ah,
was
okay.
there, and all I did was move around the country.
Yeah.
That's I got a bit like, and it was totally avoiding Melbourne and the ex and dealing with all the breakup and all that. But yeah, I was in there like, oh, this will take it away.
Yeah.
Cool. And that was always my intentions of things, and then it didn't. And then I was like, all right, this isn't going to end well that day. And I was looking forward to getting out of there and just turning right, not left.
Did you
And
have
then-
one of those moments where you went, okay, you go, and then I've got a question?
Well, yeah, basically I was looking forward to getting out of there and I was going to head into the bush. And
Yeah, no shit.
and not come back. And and now I think I went to my room and I was just like broke down. Then I was like, all right, I'll get something to eat and then I'm out of here. And then because you had to walk left to get to the bus,
Yeah.
a couple of miles or whatever. And then someone spoke to me and I'm like, fucking. I'm like, yeah. And I tried not to talk.
Could be lucky.
And then
Could be lucky that someone spoke to you.
Well, it was. I wouldn't be here now.
Yeah.
I was going right. So then he spoke and then he goes, man, I'm really fascinated by you. Like a lot of us, we've done it before and we picked you to be running out the door first day. And you seem more comfortable than anyone in this place. Just, you looked, and I'm just going, and he's going, who are you? What are you? Sort of thing. And then I've just sort of, this, and I opened up and then this crowd started building around.
Oh, really? Did they slow clap
And then it's
at the end?
no, and then it was like they just kept asking questions at me. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? It was like an interview for 10 hours.
Fuck.
And then
10 hours?
oh, dude, what happened was I hadn't spoken for so long. Then it was like,
That's what it felt like, 10 hours.
and I was on too. I was just killing.
Oh,
I was
okay.
just boom, 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 boom. And it turned out like the end was standing in the dark in front of the toilets. Someone had a torch, so I could keep telling everyone stories about my lot because they were asking about my lot. Like, you did what? And they would, yeah, I did, yeah. No, without condoms. But they and that got me. That changed it. That conversation, like that dude come up and I it just changed. Then I had all these people entertained. Oh, so
you didn't feel annoyed that he came and spoke to
you?
I
was at the time because
okay.
It was like, cool. I don't want to speak to anyone. I need to get out of here and go into the and end it, sort of thing. Let's get out of here so I don't get seen.
Yeah,
and so no one notices that I went right down the road.
Did you have like one of those moments? Because I had one. I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, maybe 5. Anyway, one of those moments where you go, oh, in order to be happy, I just have to stop looking for it to be happy. Do you know like that?
Yeah, I think, well, there's a lot of internal and a lot of ego and things like that, I guess, involved with that. It was all one thing. And it's one of those things where you look back and go, you're worrying about a girl. Or you're worrying about one thing or whatever, you know. But that whole period was just a mess. Say the ending of Pegasus or that last year in Pegasus, I'd clocked out.
Okay.
And they weren't trying. So I was like, well, I'm not going to fucking bust my ass on stage when you're not even bringing a crowd. Or what have you. And financially... And then the breakup, it was all post-Europe. It was probably actually Europe, 2011, I think we were on tour in Europe. So, say July onwards.
Yeah. And
then it was just for 3-4 years. And that's where comedy got me out.
Okay.
It saved me in a lot of ways because I had that creative path where I could, I didn't want to sing. I didn't want to perform for no one and dance around, well, not dance, but jump around on stage for... And
I've seen your act.
but fully give all that. And it's like, I don't want to do that anymore. Like, with it sort of burnt me out.
Yeah.
A bit, where it burnt the bridge a little bit with music for a while.
But also when you're the only one invested in it.
Yeah. Well,
that's going to just bang away at you.
Yeah.
Like.
And that was the thing. And it was great because I learned a lot of performance skills in those last few years with Pegasus.
Yeah.
Especially that tour was the boot camp where I learned to really perform. But without that, I wouldn't have those elements in comedy. Where now I'm loving acting out.
Yeah.
And that's becoming a big part of. I love doing an act out.
Yeah.
Being someone else or whatever. And what that is, it's the acting in me. That's what I love about being an actor, I love being a character.
But that's the same with metal.
So
like you're a character there and
or amped up. Oh, no, metal, I was me. I was
really?
This is fucking me. Yeah, grit.
Okay.
Like, this is me at my fucking...
rawest.
Yeah, like ready to go.
Yeah.
And I'd sing out something, but physically, Europe onwards.
But when you're on stage performing, you've got to put this other character there a little bit like...
No, with music, I think with music, and especially because it's metal, I've always looked and grew up in it, and might sound wanky, but it is real. And that's a Manowar fan speaking there. Heavy metal's true metal. Death to false metal and those who play it. And that sort of attitude, but you got to be real, and we're real people. We're not fake. We don't dress and make up. We're real. We're real people. We're straightforward and respect, and we love the hard metal and we music. And we've grown up from the root.
Yeah.
We grew up roots level in that era when metal was massive, and that was the big connection for us. There wasn't posh people into heavy metal; they looked down on us.
Yeah,
skaters and surfers. Fucking, we clash with. I don't know why, but we just. It was the thing, you were the enemy. It's us, and we were sort of... Metal was a gang. If you walked down the street and a metalhead you didn't know was in a fight, you'd run over in a second and band together. It was just a thing. It was like an army. And a great community.
Music genres used to be like that a lot, didn't they?
Yeah, now it's just purely watered. It's fake and it's false, and the industry... The acts you get given on your TV shows, they're given to you. You have that's being decided who you can and can't like.
Yeah.
It's not, here's a heap of bands like it used to be. Pick one you like. Oh, that band's blowing up. We didn't think they'd blow up, but the crowd love them. Oh, they love their albums. Oh, well, now we've got a massive band called Midnight Oil.
Yeah.
No, we didn't like them. But, the kids liked them. And that's how you go bands.
Yeah, yeah.
Now it's no, this is him.
Yeah.
He's fucking good looking. We know he's ugly, but if we tell you he's good looking enough, and if we in all of his interviews and that, we make sure there's girls screaming in the background, right? You'll believe that he's fucking good looking, because if every other girl wants him, well, you might miss out if you don't want him. You're the one out. You're going to miss out. So you better want him and start screaming for Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
And it's all a complete brainwash. It's all a complete... TV's the same. Here, this is what you got. You know, he's Bachelor, and basically... The offshoot of Bachelor is all these dumb chicks.
Teen girls will cry over famous people anyway.
And people will. People are... And I learned that in my life big time with my brother, that people love celebrity, and that's why I'm a bit weird around celebrities. Like, I'm not pandering to them, and I feel horrible talking to them. Yeah. Because I know what it's like to have people approach you for... Not for authentic... Like, dude, hey, I just want to say, I'm a massive fan, man. Yeah. How are you? Anyway, you enjoying the country, having fun, bro? Yeah. Have a chat, that's cool. But I love it. Oh, maybe, and especially in comedy and music, you get it where people are, what can I say to you? How can I make myself sound good? Oh, so what are you? Oh, I'm a comedian. Yeah, just finished one of my corporate gigs today. Yeah. Oh, who was it for? My work. So I wasn't a corporate. No, but you'll try and make yourself look better. Or this
was just in the lunchroom.
Yeah. But people will, I've got to get something, and celebrities see that, coming non-stop. They've always getting offers and things like that. But I saw that with how people, just as before I had any recognition, not that I had a lot, but with Damien as his brother, I could see how celebrities' brothers and sisters could be real fuckheads.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll get what I want, and I could use it. And I saw how I can use that for but I didn't, and I wouldn't. I'd say he was my brother if people had a cricket shirt on. Yeah, there's a conversation, whatever. But it wouldn't be name dropping.
Yeah.
But people would name drop it for
around you. Yeah,
deliberately.
Yeah. I could imagine that they'd go, "Oh, this is Flemo. Oh, his brothers." No,
it wasn't like that. No, hey, dude, this is how it was. Come over here, man. Hey, come here, bro. Hey, guess who this is? Yeah, no, get.
Oh,
this is Damien Fleming's brother. Yeah. This is Darren. Yeah,
so you were just
Flemo's brother, not Justin.
Okay. You weren't recognised as a human.
No.
You were just his brother.
And that would happen and it's sulk, where it's embarrassing, because the embarrassment in that comes from purely not embarrassing my brother. I'm not embarrassed. I'm proud and all that. It's embarrassing is it looks like I pulled you aside and said, hey, come back into the room and yell out that I always felt like it looked like I set it up. And it was just like, you make me look like I set this shit up.
From the perspective of a normie, if I may, use that term, I don't think it would come across like that.
Yeah, but in my mind.
Yeah,
because it's just like, it sounds cringy. Because I know I could always do it. And you'd end up looking like a fucking wanker. But also people would treat you differently. I remember at footy, at Dandy.
Once they knew,
it was different. One dude's like, there's a new... I won't say his name. We ended up good mates.
Yeah. So someone...
Because of my brother, right? He's gone, is Flemo was like, hey man, cool. And he was just, I hadn't been down. I think I had my shoulder surgery, so I didn't know a few of the new players. Hey, and he's just sort of blew me off. I'm like, okay. 20 minutes later, he's, dude, are you Flemo's brother? Oh, wicked, my new best mate. And I was just like, yuck. You're nice to me now, and I'm your new best mate. You want to be my best mate now. You're saying that because you want, tickets?
Yeah, they're the one dictating who's the best mate as well.
Like, great.
It's like,
hey, this guy's let me be his friend. I got one.
Yeah.
It's just and humans can be Like, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't. It's just put you in this ugly position of yuck. Yuck. Get away from. You want to say you're a fucking ugly human.
At least you can see that
now.
you can see that front up, like, because I don't have that. I have to find out later.
Well, and that's through. I was fortunate. I was probably 14 when Damien started playing for Victoria and getting recognised. And there was a name. It was a bit of an aura about him, like, oh, this dude's a gunner play. And there always was since he was a kid. He was genuinely.
He's the younger one, isn't he?
No,
or the older one.
He's older.
Okay. And how much older is he?
He's 5 years older. So
so you were 14?
Yeah.
And he was...
Or even 13.
Yeah.
14. He was in Victoria and then... But he was already a gun for the years, like childhood freak. Like hat-trick every year.
Wow.
Against men. When he was 12, he was destroying the league. Like, oh, this kid... Like, everyone...
So they couldn't have him in like the under 12s.
Oh no! Like at under 16s, he couldn't have probably played under 16s or something like that. He would have just been killing kids. Like it was lightning. Like when he played for Australia, he was holding back.
Yeah.
Really? Because he was. I can put the ball exactly.
Oh, because he has to. Yeah. You can't. It's not all about speed.
Occasionally, when he was younger, it was.
Okay.
And people break down, and he become a technical bowler where he could give you 10 different fucking fast deliveries, and that he mastered that, and I guess that's what made him so good. But yeah, if he wanted to, he'd be thumping them down on people. But and a lot of people go, "Oh, my kid, he's going to play AFL. Yeah, he won best and fairest in the under 30. Yeah, everyone knows it." Shut up. Yeah, and you know what happens in under 14s? We all grew.
Yeah.
And then all your guns ended up getting demolished because we owed you for those years of you being 4 inches taller than us and the ruckman that no one could catch. And now you're dead.
Yeah.
I love playing against those guys. There was a dude called Danny Orr, played for Jordanville, and he was always the best and fairest. It felt like he was 6 foot tall when we were 10. Like it was just, the ruck, he'd tap it down, he'd pick up the ball and then just run into the goals and kick them.
Really?
He kicked it to the forward line. You just could... It was like me playing against the Cures.
Yeah, wow.
Then got to 14, 15, and it was like, oh, wow, we're the same height. I played on him one day and I fucking demolished. And I was just like, can you just kick the ball here all day so I could just serve it to him?
Yeah.
Get payback for all those years of domination. But yeah, I don't know my ball there. But we better give this a bit of a wrap, Chris, because we've gone a while.
Fair enough.
Thank you so much for coming down.
Thanks so much for having me.
You're a wonderful person, Chris Asher.
So are you.
And where can they check out the podcast, Chris Asher?
The podcast formerly known as .com.
Easy.
So go there. There's links for iTunes and Stitcher and
Grindr, Tinder.
Yeah. All our profiles are on there. So get in touch because I'd like someone to talk to. Yeah.
And Facebook, we can find you on there.
No, you can't find me on Facebook.
Okay, that's all right. Just go to the podcast.
You can find me on YouTube. I started a daily vlog, so Chris vlogs stuff. It's not funny at all, but it's just like this thing that I want to look back on. So because I'm doing all weird different things. That's a whole nother
Well, that's
episode.
the thing. You can release all them videos next year with a different filter, and it can become artistic. Chris goes New York. Vogue. No, well, get down there, check out Chris, and do check out his podcast, John and Dean, because it's a really fun podcast. They're really cool dudes and have some great guests. We'll be back hopefully really quick with another one. Because it's pretty easy, this kind of show for me, because all I need to do is bring people in, because I'm already at that level. As soon as I wake up. So thank you for listening to HighNoon with Flemo. Tell your friends, enjoy. We'll be back soon, and be safe.
Well, we got through it. We're alive. No one died. That's good. Big thanks to Chris for coming on the podcast. Get over to the podcast formerly known as, like I said, it's a great show. Also, get over to comicslounge.com.au and get your tickets for next week's shows. They're going to sell out really fast, so make sure you get on those. I'll be back very soon with another special guest. Head over to Justin Fleming Comedy for the YouTube stuff, which I'm lazy with. And Justin Fleming Comedian for the same thing I'm really lazy with. But yeah, have fun, be cool, stay in school.